Hello and welcome to another edition of the Plus One interview, and we are joined by Joey Barrett. He's zooming today. I guess election night took all his energy. He couldn't make it to the studio today. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my man? I'm sorry I couldn't be in studio today. It's been a busy day, busy week, but happy to talk some football.
And as you said, we're coming down to the final stretch pretty much. These next couple of weeks, we're in the home stretch of the high school football season. Playoffs kicking off this week. Man, it really flies by. It really flies by.
It flies by, but we had fun. We have, I can speak for you when I say we have very fun jobs. We're lucky to watch some great student athletes and some talented coaches put it all together to try to get some wins there on Friday nights. So I think we've got, 4 Lynn teams playing this week and 10 local teams if we're talking about the item zone. So we're excited.
Yeah, four out of the 5 schools in Lynn made it. I mean, the 5th one, they just had as the coach said, it's been injury-ridden. It's been an injury-riddled season for them, so that kind of took away any advantages that they would have had to have a chance to play. But they still competed hard the other day. I mean, Tyron Hun, over 300 yards. So I had it at 356. I think they had officially, it was 365. I don't know. It was somewhere around there. But whatever. 350-plus yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, 2 sacks on defense. One of the wildest football games I ever watched, and I've watched some wild ones the last 2 years.
Yeah, classical, even though it wasn't the season they wanted, there were a lot of things out of their control, of course. Injuries, you hate to see them across the board. And obviously they graduated some big names a year ago. But they fought hard. That's all you can ask from a character standpoint, a team effort standpoint, bonding standpoint. So a lot of their younger players will be back. And Tyron, the aforementioned Tyron, he's fantastic, one of the best players in the city of Lynn. He'll be back as well. So classical will be just fine, I think.
And they got a young quarterback now, freshman quarterback that they're now developing, who had a really good game against Somerville. So, they got a lot to look forward to. They could close out the season on a good note. They got Wakefield this week in a non-playoff game, so they could try to. And then Thanksgiving they got Lynn English, so they could try to close out this season on a good note, get some wins, and then get some momentum for next year. Playoffs though, we got, as you said, playoffs. Every one of the Lynn teams that are in are playing on Friday. 2 of them got to travel really, really far. Lynn Tech got to go to Carver. St. Mary's got to go all the way to Sandwich, which is, these drives are not easy. But first, Lynn Tech, they're going to Carver, who was in it last year, who made it to the state championship game last year. Cause they're coming off a tough loss to Neshoba, but Tech, what do you think they need to do to get this road win? Because that's not going to be an easy. That's going to be a hard test for them, I should say. I can't even talk.
It's a very hard test, and I know it sounds simple, but the offense needs to at least stay on the field a solid amount of time and try to find the end zone 2 or 3 times, because the defense for Tech is fantastic, but it's facing a really powerful offense and the star power is on display. So if that offense can just stay on the field, rack up the time of possession, I think that's step number 1 for Tech.
Yeah, and you don't want to put up another donut too, because that's back-to-back weeks that's not good. But I think I have faith in their players that they'll bounce back. But also, it's traveling too. It's like they gotta make sure when they get off that bus they're really ready for the game, because the travel is exhausting itself, and then getting ready for a game mode. I talked to somebody about this yesterday. It's just that long travel that really gets you in these types of games in the first quarter.
Yeah, whether that's, stretching on the bus, listening to music, having a snack, do something to get in the right frame of mind and get off the bus ready to go. And I'm sure Coach Runner will have them dialed in. He knows how to deliver a good speech, I know from hearing him as we are about to interview him sometimes. But I think Tech try to stay on the field, limit those star opponents, and try to put some points on the board.
Definitely. St. Mary's, they're going into this playoff game fully healthy. Everybody's there. Last year, it wasn't the case. Last year, they went in there semi-healthy. But this year, they have their team is really solid this year. They had a tough battle last week against Bishop Feheen. Bishop Feheen was a tough team to play, especially going out there. But it was still somewhat of a game, even though they didn't put up no points. But it was still a game for the majority of it. Now they're going all the way to Sandwich. I think the St. Mary's, that running game really has to make its impact in this game early on to give them a chance. Because once again, road games are tough.
Yeah, speaking of the Bishop Feheen game, that team has kind of turned itself into a little powerhouse in Attleboro, and St. Mary's was only down 6 at halftime. Was it a 13-0 final, I believe? And I think if it's not broken, don't fix it. You don't have to change anything for St. Mary's. They've got the three-headed monster at running back, Koutsaflakis and Merriman and Maxwell Parent. They're all physical. They're all passionate. They're going to come to play. And it's the 9 seed versus the 8 seed. I'm not just saying it, but, it's not a toss-up. I don't know. But I think that St. Mary's just needs to do its thing. They've got the pieces. They've got the depth. They've got the coach. And they've got the experience. I mean, Tyler Guy, for example, he's going to come ready to go. He's been there before. So we'll see.
I agree with that. And then they got the coaching. As you said, the coaching experience. Coach Driscoll, he's had plenty of deep playoff runs during his time at St. Mary's, so he'll definitely have those guys ready to go. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they bounce back, because this is a really good football team in a Division 6 that is wide open. There's no clear-cut favorite in that division, so anything can go in that division.
Yeah, I would love to see a St. Mary's Linfield matchup if we're lucky. Just we know those teams very well, and I remember those two teams played each other at Manning Field, I think 2 years ago, and St. Mary's escaped. But that would be kind of a dream matchup. But let's go game by game. You're right.
All right, next up, we have Lynn English going to Reading. Reading, looking up on them, they're a team that scores 36 points per game. They give up around like 12 or 13 points a game, but English is a team that scores around 26, 28 points per game. This might be a shootout, but this is a lot of the guys for the English guys, this is all their first time in the postseason, so there might be a little playoff jitters to start early on, which is normal. But I think once these guys settle into this game, I think they have a fighting chance, because the seniors really want to have an impact. They really want to leave an impact, and they feel like this is their time to showcase something. And what better way to do it in the playoffs against the 1 seed?
Absolutely. The 1 seed is a tough hill to climb, but like you said, the experience is tough. It's not like St. Mary's, where they've had it year after year. But I think it's all mental in this one, because you don't want to be intimidated. You either want to block out the noise if that's your alley, or you want to embrace it and fire yourself up if that's the other alley you prefer. But I don't think English fans need to worry about that. I think Coach Tyler McDonald has been there before, so he can, I think, spread some of that down and have those Bulldog players in the right state of mind. I think on the field, just contain fundamentals and play English football, because it's been working this season.
Definitely, and also that the Bulldogs running game. This is playoffs. Playoffs is when the running game really needs to establish itself. These types of games, especially if you want to keep that offense off the field. Reading is a spread offense. They like to throw that ball, and then they like. When late in the game, they like to run that thing. So if you can establish a running game, control the clock, and enough big plays from your guys, I think Bulldogs will give themselves a chance to win this one.
Yeah, I see this one going into the second half. I think, like you said, just you can't go round after round if you only know how to run or you only know how to pass. I think at this level in these tournaments in the postseason, you really need to do both. I think English has the ability to do both, so we'll see Friday night.
And then lastly, Kip Academy, they are hosting Bourne here at Manning Field Friday at 5 p.m. Kip Academy. They bounced back after the overtime loss to Neshoba with a really, really good offensive outing against Whittier Tech. Eli Machado, he had a big day passing and running the ball over 100 yards on the ground. He passed the ball really well. Kip's offense looked really good, and that's the type of momentum you need going into the playoffs, especially when you come off a loss. You want to get a good end of season game to get yourself that rhythm when the playoffs first round.
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Jim Rabbitt's telling these guys, but a slow start does not haunt them at all. Their Super Bowl season, they started 1-2. I think this year it was 0-2, if I'm correct. And they've really just bounced back. They've got all the momentum, and now it's just about executing. They've got the pieces. I think Machado has some experience under his belt now. It'll be a little different in the postseason, but football's football. Just play your game, and I'm excited for Kip. I personally see them coming out on top, but we'll have to see.
We'll see. And one thing they also have going in their favor is they're not the one doing the long travel. Bourne is the one doing the long travel, so this benefits them. It's a 5 o'clock game, so. Yeah, that afternoon traffic coming to Lynn from a far distance, it might take a while. So Kip has that to their advantage. And Kip, I noticed they started running the ball a bit more. Danny Ortiz, I believe is his name. He's been the big back. He's been effective, and then Jose Echeverria on the outside. He's also been really effective. The go-to guy for Machado. Those guys have really stepped up late in the season.
Yeah, Danny Ortiz, great kid, by the way, very polite, and I liked interviewing him a lot when he had his 2-touchdown game in his debut. That was a lot of fun. But back to just the team aspect, I really don't want to complicate my approach to kind of breaking this game down, because I think you just want to play confident, you want to play physical, and I think they know what they have to do. Coach Rabbitt's going to have them in the right state of mind. So a very, very winnable game for Kip, and they've got home field, like you said, coming off the bus. It won't be easy for the opposition, so I'll be at that one, by the way. Mark's going to be covering English versus Reading. I think just with us two, I think the others might be a little far with all of them going on at the same time. But Kip and English, we're excited for both of them. It's a fun time for football and Lynn.
Definitely a great time. These games are all Fridays. Apparently, all the playoff games are Friday. I think there's like one Thursday game that I saw, which is, they could have spread them out Thursday and Friday, but whatever. Make sure you go. If you're in the area, Kip Academy at Manning Field, 5 o'clock. I know everybody's going to go support their respective schools, so make sure you go out there wherever you're going. Be safe. English is at Reading, 7 p.m. kickoff. St. Mary's Sandwich is a 7 p.m. kickoff, and Lynn Tech and Carver, that's a 7 p.m. kickoff. So all of them going at the same time, so make sure you go out there. But yeah, we're excited. We're in the home stretch of things here.
Absolutely. No, thank you another week for having me on and having a blast. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Also, any articles up, predictions or anything they going up?
Yeah, predictions will be out in Friday morning's paper. We're going to have some coverage at Lynn English's Hall of Fame ceremony tomorrow evening. So this is Wednesday we're recording, so Thursday evening. And full state tournament coverage, not just football. We've got soccer and field hockey and everything. So, itemlive.com.
I'll be at that ceremony. I might be there taking pictures. You never know. Watch the Plus One interview. Have a good one.